Damn, even I'm dying from the heat. What's going on? Come on, hang in there. We're starting episode 10 of the 505. On the agenda, Anthony struggles. It's going to be really boring. Clayton Soud, Clayton Sue. That makes you laugh. And Anthony explains things to you that he doesn't even understand himself. And of course, the voiceover is appalled.
You won't miss my love, but in the end, you won't. Love, yeah.
Yeah, that's aluminum. Hi, if you think you've seen me before in a feature film like Titanic, Fast and Furious 1, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, well, that wasn't me. My name is Anthony Perrier and I do car tuning in my garage. And today I want to tell you about one of my main projects, the 505 OM606. Spoiler alert, I'm reintroducing the project, so if you already know it, please don't comment yes.
But I know why you're showing me the project.
Others are watching the video too, Guillaume. So, this is a Peugeot 505 GR, one of the great diesel touring cars powered by a naturally aspirated diesel engine, an Indenor, the 2.3 litre with 70 horsepower. Except that it's super boring, so I decided to put in a Mercedes OM606 engine, so 3 litres, inline 6-cylinder, turbo diesel, producing 177 horsepower stock. Except the goal is 700 horsepower.
What? But what is he talking about? He told us he wouldn't go for 700 horsepower after all.
Exactly. I'm just saying that for audience retention. I think 400 or 500 horsepower would already be very good.
So you think it's not enough and can't be done, honestly?
Yeah, so I hope you're still aware that between 500 and 700 horsepower, nobody will see the difference except my wallet. My wallet will definitely see the difference. So we do it like this, and that's how it is. There's no other way. Okay, there's just no debate. By the way, the car's come a long way since I realized I didn't want 700 horsepower after all. In the last video, we saw that it was no longer just a paperweight sitting in the back of the garage, but actually a real car that moves. Here's a clip.
It's a car. Here's the clip.
So here, we really have a car with an engine, a gearbox, a differential, drive shafts, tires, brakes, and a clutch. It's a car. It's literally the definition of a car, except it's still a crappy car. Well, because yes, even if it really looks like a car, there are still a lot of things missing for it to be a real car. Honestly, driving at more than 40 kilometers per hour is a bit like suicide, so we'll have to fix all that. Yes, you guessed it, I'm going to bring out my little whiteboard. Those were the last steps for, well, the video that came out a few weeks ago. And honestly, there's really not much left to do. Quick recapitula, whatever, summary.
So we have a real engine-to-wheel connection.
The studs done, rear subframe done, rear axle done, accelerator pedal spring done. We have a power steering pump. Yes, that's awesome. Diesel tank, that excites me a little bit. Currently, a jerry can on the crossmember is still feeding the engine. It's not ideal and needs improvement.
Honestly, the shifter isn't bad.
If we're talking about a real car now, there's little left to modify. Will it work if I do this? So we said, before anything else, a front end.
Anthony, what's this list?
This is the list we might do in this video. That would be really great. Front end, so caster.
More
steering ball joint. There you go, we need to modify that thing. I'll show you later. Another thing to do is the roll cage. The complete roll cage will allow us to connect the front end to the rear end, so that the car doesn't bend at the first real acceleration. So, a full roll cage. Next, I'd like to take care of the fuel system. So, fuel, what will that be? It'll be the tank. We're going to put in an aluminum tank, either in the trunk or in place of the rear seats. We'll see about that. Of course, I think we'll put in a Bosch 044 that will come out of the tank and go all the way to the front. So that means we'll have to do all the fuel lines. Feed and return lines. Honestly, that's already great. What else do we have? Yeah, because we could, for example, put in, a car radio, because that's actually really essential. It's really interesting, and, it's true. And then that would maybe let us pick up, RTL, To avoid any video that might go over 4 hours and get nominated for the Cannes Film Festival, I asked the editor to cut this sequence. Instead, we'll let the American Clayton come on stage like...
He comes in all of a sudden, just like that, it's cool.
Hi.
Damn, the Perrier Lemon team.
How's it going today? Yeah, I'm good. I'm really glad you're here. He is too, apparently.
You're happy that I'm here too.
You're happy, Archie. Basically, today, I'd like us to work a bit on the front end. I don't remember if I explained that to you in the last video, but... Well, wait, what's this? Come on, this guy's really slow.
Usually he goes fast. It's a bit lower, but it's not a big deal.
We'll explain the front suspension, subframe, lower control arm, and radius rod which sets the correct geometry.
That's why it's not an A-arm. There's a caster rod. Actually, since there is a caster rod, it's not an A-arm.
Exactly. Normally with a bushing,
You can't put a caster rod.
I cut some sheet metal, I welded some sheet metal, and I put a bolt through the original bushing, which is 75 years old. I had welded that together a bit haphazardly, just so I could move the car, except, well, like I just said, it moves a little better now than it did at the auto show. So now, the idea is to get rid of that, because it's really useless. Well, it's really useless. It's fine for moving the car, but for what we want to do, it's really useless. So what's the plan? The plan
Is that I had some parts made with laser cutting and CNC bending. I had another part made that was laser cut as well, but not CNC bent. We're going to use the same principle as before on the gearbox mount and sandwich the original sheet metal. Because actually, the original sheet metal is fine for a 505 that makes 60 horsepower. But for a 505 that's going to make 7,000 horsepower, well, that's not going to be enough.
No, so we've lowered our expectations.
So, what we're going to do is, we've got our little metal hot dogs here. We'll fit them in instead and remove this from the chassis rails. They'll slot in there and be welded all around.
That's going to give us some serious reinforcement, so it won't be able to tear off.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
It could still tear off.
it could always be tear off.
But there's little chance.
At least mainly because here we're going to go from 4mm sheet metal that's going to be welded onto a long rod that's maybe 2mm. And the thing is, it would never be very, very strong. There will be too much heat in it. It's going to stress the original sheet metal too much. It's going to tear the original sheet metal. You can see spots where it began to tear even on the long rod.
You see?
And so, as a result, we reinforce with this. We weld this to the original sheet metal, and this is welded onto the reinforcement. With this, we can really apply heat. We can make big, nice welds, and at least it will be strong. We take fewer risks.
Alright, well, let's take it apart.
Hey, I ain't slowing down to the fire. We rolling now. Day one still hold me down. Time is up. They know it from the jump. Yeah.
We up. Four kids, that's 4 mouths. No days off, grinding till I fall out. I took my odds, split them up and beat them down.
What the fuck, dude? That's incredible. Dude, at the internship, I did structural welding tests on the ceiling and I didn't weld as well as that.
Yeah?
It was good enough for a tower in New York, you know?
Yes, there. Okay, honestly, it looks much more impressive than what I did.
Damn, it's low and not without risk, this ball.
Man, the car is tiny. Even me, and I'm not a big guy, it comes up to my nipple, you know?
You can get in here. Wait.
Oh my god. Even a Twingo is more spacious.
But it's perfect. I could drive it.
It doesn't suit you at all?
This car. No, but really,
It's ridiculous. Seeing you in the car makes me realize how skinny I am, but it's not a big deal.
it comes from the ear.
If I keep eating soup, maybe it'll improve. A guy commented on the last 505 video saying, "What you're doing is great, but it's a shame you're too effeminate."
Yeah, that one was killer.
Well, thanks. I don't know what that means. Too bad.
How can you take it?
Well, anyway, you like my front end? Yeah, well, yeah. Now it looks a lot more serious though. Next step, Clayton will be back soon for the roll cage. The roll bar isn't just a roll bar, it's also structural since, let me remind you, it was originally on this car. What literally makes up the structure of the car is the engine, gearbox and differential. There's no drive shaft like there is now with flex discs and all that. It's a large splined rod that's surrounded by a steel tube that's maybe 5 or 6 millimeters thick, and that's what makes it. It's like a transaxle from, I was about to show you, like from a Porsche 244. No, it's not here anymore. So actually, that's what gives the body its original rigidity, except now, well, there's no rigidity left at all. So I think if we really want to go crazy with this car, we need a roll cage. And well, that'll also keep us from dying.
Yeah, also. You see, I have an idea. I think with this car, under heavy acceleration like that, the body is like this. You're going to press down, the pressure will build up, and you're right in the middle.
Probably. The idea for the roll cage, basically we shouldn't talk for 25 minutes or it'll be unbearable for Constant. In short, it's going to be the main hoop that will start from there.
We're going to attach it here on the central loop. We'll make it go up a bit lower, let's say, than the 206 rally car. That way we don't have too much trouble connecting it at the top.
Wait, I think your mic's been off the whole time, only mine is on. So, central loop then. Attached here, plate welded there, loop on top. We want it connected. Okay, you had that thing over there, there you go. Then, there will be 2 bars like this that will go down to here. Yeah, here. Then, some braces to reinforce as well. A central bar for the harnesses. Exactly. And then, a bar that will go in front and pass by the doors, by the legs, here. So it goes through the bulkhead here. And another one on top. Yes, exactly. The one on top, because this isn't a half roll bar. And then we don't want to cut the dashboard, so we make it go down in front. It's funny from Cesar because I always have commas. And yes. And so, well, after that, we have to run a tube from over there to the side of the strut tower to connect to the strut tower or the frame rail. I'm very happy. Thank you, Clayton. As usual. Yeah, at least I was gentle. No, yeah, thanks. What a mess. But honestly, I'm getting happier and happier. I'm getting happier and happier. A few days later, well, it's time to thank Clayton once again for coming and for his exceptional help. To give him some support, it's super simple. Instagram, no, still works. Thank you, Clayton. Well, with that, there are still a lot of things to do on this 505 to make it more or less drivable. Like, for example, all of this. So caster, that's done. Now there's still the tie rod end to check, but hey, that's something I can order online. So well, I'm going to order it online. Next, all of that there, for the fuel system, those are all things I'm going to order online as well. Full roll cage, well, Clayton kindly told me, to go screw myself this time. That'll be for next time. But in the meantime, today, what I really want to do is the battery wiring, the placement of the battery and the fuses. Why? Let me show you. In my quest to make this car look like a real car, I'm going to have to clean up all these wires because actually when I want to start the car or move it, I just put a Norauto 11 battery right here. Then, I connect my wires in a totally messy way. By the way, the ground for the glow plugs, I just put it like this. It's not ideal. Identify and create a solid ground connection for all my equipment. Run a large positive cable to the back and install the battery in the trunk. For the fuse box, which is here, well, actually, I think I'm just going to mount it right here, underneath, there. Except it's going to be a bit of a pain because, well, it's going to be cutting and soldering, cutting the wires, cutting and soldering the wires again, and cutting them again, then soldering them. It's going to be really annoying. But it still has to be done. I'll think about it and get back to you once I've started coming up with some ideas. I spent all of yesterday, yes, the whole day yesterday, imagining a wiring harness for the car. What seemed really easy to me actually turned out to be really difficult when you've never done it in your life. And even if you have, honestly, there are still things you need to think about. And so it makes things very complicated and jokes aside, yes, it was working, but it was far from optimal. You see, I was using 8.3 square millimeter subwoofer cable. Anyway, basically, I had already imagined the placement of several things. So, this fuse box here will be fixed back there. Then, well, the whole wiring harness will be arranged. The glow plug control unit will probably stay, or I'll hide or improve its appearance. The wiring harness will look better. I'm discussing the finishing touches. Obviously, the battery will go in the trunk since I guess that's, well, the most logical thing, you know, in terms of weight distribution. Maybe we'll put the gas tank here. But basically, I've thought of everything needed between the battery and the engine in terms of terminals, cables, the cutoff switch, absolutely everything. Here's a simplified diagram to help explain my idea. This is the battery, positive on one side, negative on the other. The negative side is pretty straightforward. It's attached to the chassis with a small terminal, either on a rear seat belt or seat support. It doesn't really matter where we place it. And then, as close as possible, we're going to install a master cutoff switch. And then, on the short circuit, I'll put a little pull handle that I'll place right next to my cockpit. That way I can still pull it very quickly, and it will cut the circuit right next to the battery. Anyway, then we still have 35 square millimeter cable. Yeah, it's way oversized, but, well, I have it in stock. You see the spool it has, it's 35 square millimeters, so yeah, it'll work just fine. I have some, it's red, we know what it is at first glance, so that's great. From there, we'll connect to a big terminal block that can handle 300 amps in continuous load. And then it will distribute the current to the starter, the alternator, and the preheating system. Why? Because there's no need for a fuse before those components. They draw so much current that old cars rarely had original fuses to protect the circuit. And then, on the output of the terminal block, we'll put a mega fuse holder with a fuse of 100 amps, also using a 25 square millimeter section. From this mega fuse holder, I think we have 4 MIDI fuse holders, which take smaller fuses. Mega is simple. It's between 2 M8 threaded rods, and the MIDIs are between 2 M5 threaded rods, and one of these MIDIs will be 50 amps and will go to our fuse box that I showed you. And then, from the fuse box, well, we'll have all the small accessories, so all the little gauges, the diesel pump that will be in the back, the low pressure pump, the Bosch, which will also be connected to it on its own relay, and so on. And as for the ground, well, that's pretty easy. Same thing, we'll connect it to the front of the chassis. On one side, it will go to the gearbox. On the other side, it will go to a terminal block for 10 square millimeter cable. And this thing will route all the grounds we need. Every sensor, every device, it can all connect there. It will be a reliable ground and they'll all be more or less in the same place. It's a pain, huh? It's really a pain. Yeah, it's really a pain. I realized that, but it had to be done. So here we are again, a few weeks later, right in the middle of a heat wave. I'm telling you this even before I really start filming this sequence because I already know I'm gonna die during this shoot. Because you know, like everyone else, man, I'm hot. Whew, now that's really cool. So, I made some space on the table. You see, the technique is simple. You just push all the stuff to the back. First, you create something nice and presentable. Currently, many things are missing, especially on the instrument side. We only have a few gauges and sensors, but the car will have many more. But before dealing with that, we'll have to take care of this. So here we have 25 square millimeter cable here, 10 square millimeter cable, and here 35 square millimeter cable, which is probably a bit overkill, but that's okay. Here we have two terminal blocks. A positive and a negative, just like I showed on the little diagram. A big fuse holder that might be used to power other things, but we'll see. The terminals that will go on the battery. The large reliable ground strap, braided and equivalent to 25 square millimeters, which will go on the gearbox. Some little lock washers that we're going to put everywhere each time we tighten something, just to make sure nothing goes wrong, like touching a ground or something. And of course, crimp terminals, like on most professional setups. So I had to buy a little crimping tool to do it properly. And here I also have a little cutoff switch from the brand GT2 I Don't Hesitate. He already explained everything that's coming up in the previous segment, but like any old person, he repeats himself. Installing the cutoff switch at the back and prepping the battery's positive cable took just 3 minutes. The switch is now installed, so I'll place it there. Next, I'll decide where to put the pull handle, on one side or the other. Because basically, the pull handle, to operate the cutoff switch from the driver's seat, well, it's a cable that I pull toward me. And depending on where the cable will go, whether it will go to the right side of the car, so when I pull it, it'll bring it there, or if I make it go to the left side of the car, it goes all the way around the trunk. And when I pull it, it will bring it toward the back. So that's something to figure out. We'll see. It's just screws. In any case, what I need to do now is connect my battery's positive terminal to that thing. Very easy. I'll need to use these little crimp terminals here for 35 square millimeters with an 8 millimeter diameter hole. This will be attached to the battery. I'll remove this nut. And this thing here will connect our cable, here the 35, to the battery cutoff switch. So, what I'll do first is put a terminal on one end of the cable. It's stripped. Wow, that's going to look great. Plus, it comes with thick red heat shrink tubing, so you see afterwards it's really going to look super clean. And then we take the big scary crimping tool and we try not to mess it up. Ah, there, it looks crimped now. Now that's nice. Look how cute that is. So, that's good. Now, well, I'm going to measure between my battery. Well, you get it. So, spoiler, I have 8 meters. I think 8 meters will be enough. Look, we're even going to go through the little hole made for this. We might even be able to put a little seal and everything to make it really cute. I just installed my little piece of cable, and honestly, it looks neat. You see, the red wire there doesn't touch the support at all. So maybe I'll modify the support again to make sure that the cable there never touches my little metal support. You see, it fits just right, but it doesn't touch. Now, for the second part of the positive cable, so we'll obviously start from here, we'll run the cable along here, along the rear fender, we'll go through where there's the little rectangular hole. I'm going to enlarge the hole so it fits through. Then, it'll run down along the fender, pass through here, go all the way and return there. I plan to put my terminal block around here. But actually, I thought it would be much better to put my terminal block on the engine bay side. Because actually the terminal block will mainly be used to distribute the current without a fuse, without power management, let's say, to the starter, alternator and glow plugs. And these three super important things are in the engine bay. So, my final idea would be to come back and drill through the firewall here, bring my main positive cable here to the terminal block, which would then be right here. And then, on each terminal of my terminal block, I would run a thick cable down here to the alternator, which is right there. Then, I could run it along here and bring it down to the starter, which is right there. And same thing, a second one going down inside where the glow plug relay will be. It's not so bad. So, I'm going to start making my little holes, running my cable, etc. so I can have a coherent positive cable run. Wow, I did a bit of cleaning, so I removed all the insulation that was there, which was taking up space for nothing, and it turns out, unfortunately, I have a bit too much cable length. So yes, some people are going to say, yeah, but Anthony, when it rains, water is going to fall on it. Well, first of all, I have a little cap. Secondly, I don't care, because most likely this car will never be driven in the rain. You know, if I do events or things like that, it'll already be indoors, on display. Even if it rains while the parked car is outside, it's fine. There are drains for that. Usually there's no electricity here anyway, so it's not an issue. We don't think about it since it's a race car, so the rain, it's not a problem. Anyway, all that to say, the length isn't right. So to get the right length, I need to run my cable through the right spot. And to run it through the right spot, I made this with a 3D printer. Yeah, this is really not bad. I printed this in polycarbonate. You see, I made several prototypes, some more successful than others. But basically, it looks like this. It's exactly 10 in the middle. The hole here is for an M6 screw. And actually, you see, there's a kind of notch underneath. And this notch is exactly the size of an insert. And it lines up perfectly. I really can't show you the thing right now. But there you go, you get the idea. So, I'm going to start spreading them out a little bit everywhere. That way, we'll really have our ideal cable length. You see, it's really going to go like this. It's going to be super clean. And then, why not add a seal on top, some kind of little groove or something so it's invisible, and most importantly, so you can't trip over it. But there you go, you kind of get the idea. And after a few long and hot minutes, dozens of minutes, this is what it looks like. So our little positive bus bar, what we'll call the distribution block, is attached. Really well attached, actually. I put some little M6 inserts underneath. Some small Allen screws are flush, so they won't touch anything else, ensuring safety. I'm going to modify this opening, which I think was used for the heater intake, to allow the wires to pass underneath, to go to the alternator, to the glow plug system, to the starter. And inside, you see, I've added a number of cable ties. Here, you can see it a bit better than before. So, it's pretty cool. It works pretty well. It looks pretty neat. Well, anyway, I'm sweating, I'm fed up, I can't take it anymore, I'm out of here, I'm telling you. However, tomorrow I'll be back early in the cool morning to finish all the positive side wiring. But be careful tomorrow, that's not all I'll be doing. Tomorrow I'll be with Cleaton No Steel Steelworks because I went to get 18 meters of tubes this afternoon. They will finally be used to connect the front end and the rear end and protect us in case of damage. Yes, you got it. Tomorrow Cleaton is coming. And tomorrow we start making the roll cage. I can't wait. Actually, no, I don't really look forward to it. It's going to be horrible. We're going to weld. It's like 40 degrees. Well, no, it's going to be annoying.
Are you on shift now? No, it's wonderful to be woken up at 3 a.m.
It's crap. So today's schedule is very simple. By the way, you don't know Cleaton, do you? Well, if you don't know him, it's because you didn't watch the beginning of the video. Because he was already in the beginning of the video.
And in 3/4 of your videos, by the way.
The plan is very simple. Look, I bought a roll cage kit. It's the same kit, by the way, as the one for the 206 same reference.
Same manufacturer. Honestly, he's good, you know.
He's good. So this is seam welded steel. Yum, yum.
Yum, it's not tapered at the body.
This is not a race car. Why do we say that? Well, because normally, to make a roll cage in a car, you need certified steel, certified material, especially bendable steel. This just isn't bendable. However, we're going to prove you wrong.
It's bendable.
So we have 2 tubes with a diameter of 48 and 1 tube with a diameter of 33. So, the big tube will be used to make the main hoop and all the main reinforcements. And the small tube will be used for all the small braces, especially on the cantilever and so on. So the goal is to connect the rear end to the front end. It's still a bit unclear for now.
On this part, it's a bit unclear.
Everything involving the half cage, that's going to be very easy to imagine. That's going to be the simplest part.
Yeah, that's going to be simple. So here...
The goal here is to first take the measurement to make the main hoop. And actually for the main hoop, look, Cleaton has already made these little plates for us that will be welded here. Because that's what we saw on the internet.
Before seeing it on the internet, that's what I assumed was the right thing to do.
And so, it was confirmed by the internet. The real 505 super production cars have a roll cage that attaches here, so that'll be perfect. So, I'm going to document the entire process of making the roll cage for you with nice diagrams, etc, etc, and at the same time, I'll keep working on redoing my wiring harness. I don't really want to do it either, but well,
You want to make videos with a wiring harness that belongs on its roll cage.
Yeah, it's going to be a real constant mess. He's going to be happy. Alright, Cleaton, 6 meter tube. Wow, look at this beautiful bandsaw. How does it work? Well, it's simple. You press a button, it cuts. It always cuts straight, always perfect. That's really, really good. So, Cleaton measured the hoop, which is 750. 750. Between the 2 plates, unfold it, lift it up, flat, lower it down, between the 2 plates.
So now they've been tacked.
Very cool. And on my end,
small cable.
There that goes
to the starter.
Still need to add the little guides, but it's coming together. Nice.
Yes, here is our hoop.
So now we'll have to fill this with sand. Just like we did for the 206, weld a cap on the end, fill it with sand, weld a cap. Damn, we have to go up to the mezzanine and everything. I'm way too lazy. here we are again, once more.
With the tube bender.
So what angle do we want? Just guess? Yeah.
Yeah, we're just eyeballing it a bit.
Go ahead, that works.
No, here, we want 110 on this one. If you refer to my nice diagram,
So, the diagram... No, but yeah, alright.
you're starting to put some pressure on. Yeah, it's kind of all connected.
So, by filling the thing with sand, it can't collapse because it's full. But when it's empty, it's not full, it's empty.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh!
How's it looking? A little too closed, but it's okay.
There's a solution for that. You take it and you smash it.
There we go. Whew, it's cool, huh? I'm the one who's cool. No.
We're not bad.
Yeah, I think it's not bad.
Do a little bit more, and when you let go, it falls. Not bad. Whoa, it's heavy.
Huh? No. Ah,
Wait, first, is it straight? Hey.
it's okay.
Huh? We're a little bit warped inside, but it's okay.
Okay, bellissima. It's a bit trapezoidal, right? The whole thing is in italics.
So here we wanted, I don't know, I'll do 950.
Sounds good to me. 950. The issue is, I want to keep the headliner, but with a sedan, you have to remove it through the windshield. We've got a slight bend problem there.
There, yeah.
Obviously, since Anthony isn't able to set up a camera properly and Clayton is way too busy working instead of Anthony, we can't see anything in this shot, but basically the roll bar is still crooked. Now it's time to use Clayton's secret Americanizing technique.
There's a solution for that. You take it and you smash it.
Show it, right there.
It's in italics.
There, yes.
The beam, the laser beam there, it's good.
That's better.
Afterwards, it doesn't have to be centered in the middle of the plate.
No, but it looks professional, you know? Well, yeah, it's less bad, right? Do you want to see how much space we have with the door closed?
Yes.
It's here.
Okay.
We're here as much to weld it as to,
To cook it. Yes, that's good, huh?
We're going to do a parallax from here.
Yes, okay. There you go. It's just an estimate, you know?
Yeah, don't worry. Tough. Thanks, Milwaukee.
Yeah, for the fans. And still, it's insulated, we're not working in direct sunlight, you know? I can't even imagine those who do that. Maybe some of you watching do that. Damn, hang in there, it's rough. Cold. I was about to say it's looking good. Great, there's a loop, well done. We struggled.
It took us 5 hours to make a loop.
A full roll cage, there's still work to do.
The hoop?
You made it in 10 minutes.
There. Yeah, no, it's fine. Not my angle. We're good.
You got it. He's welding, though I'm not sure what exactly.
What is he doing? I tech welded it so he could put it on. I can't take it anymore, man. I can't take it anymore. It's a mess. Careful, Clayton. You're not making sense.
Incoherent.
We winning, keep going, just finish. That Prada, that Louis.
Day 2 feels like day 19.
No, it's fine, actually.
It's fine, it's not very hot today, so the next part of the plan is to just keep going. That's it, the roll cage, not dying. And in the meantime, I'm still gonna try to make a bit of progress on the wiring harness.
If you get too hot, you're done.
No man, I didn't touch it, I
made some progress on that. Look, by the way, at what I did in 3D Wow. Next video.
Here's a bit about it. It's going to be awesome. We'll start tuning the W124, get it out of the parking lot. I'm so excited. Anyway, so look at what we did because maybe I didn't want to film just like that or just ramble a bit. Very cool. So we have the main hoop that's attached to the small plates. Exactly. We also have the harness bar to pull our harnesses up to my shoulders so I don't die. And now, what we're gonna do today is run a tube from the top of our loop down to the, I think
we're going to attach it to the strut towers.
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's going to be like a kind of connection from the rear axle to the chassis, and then it would be connected to the front suspension.
Why not just pull from here to there?
Maybe it would be better to pull one from here to there first. And then
afterwards, one over the top. That's good. Here.
You're going to do a double junction.
No, don't do that. You'll just rack your brain over it. Start with the lower one first.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's pull from here to there, from there to there, and then we'll also tackle, well, I think, yeah.
The front part, yeah.
We'll need to put bars on top, which will bend.
which will go down. That's going to be cool, yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, honestly, same.
It will extend to the floor, and we said we didn't want to alter the dashboard much.
I'd rather, though.
If we have to cut it up, it's not a big deal.
But I prefer not to cut it.
I'm going to flock the dashboard, so a few cuts aren't a big deal.
We'll see later. We need to find a solid spot for the plate, and it's not easy.
And then, once we have this loop coming down here, from this part here, over there, or maybe over there, we'll run a tube that will go to the front strut tower. It's going to be good.
Right? It'll be good, but at our pace, we still have at least 3 months of work.
But already, once we've done the rear part, that's really going to motivate us a lot. And I think that adding bent tubing up front will really make it take shape and really get us fired up, I think.
Let's go. Go ahead. It's not going to snap every time.
Did you notice we're hitting less and less hard because my arm hurts more and more? I think I need to get surgery at some point. It's the weekend. I need to get surgery.
If there are any surgeons among you.
Okay, very nice, very much so.
Risk of falling. So yeah, here we are.
No, but now we're starting to get to something nice. I even cleaned the window so we can see it from outside. So wait, if I let go, it's going to fall. But the two have different angles.
No, yeah, you're not in the same alignment. There, that's better.
There, that's it. It's not quite right yet, but I get the idea. Yeah, I get the idea. Oh, now we're talking.
That's a roll bar, that is.
Dude, there are pipes everywhere in this car. It's cool, huh?
That's some piping. So, without burning the seat and without burning the dome light... Okay, it's good. It's good, huh? It's magnificent. Look at that. You didn't slap... What's the point? Thanks, you're welcome.
Great, right? You're thrilled I'm procrastinating while you work. I still haven't started the wiring harness.
It's been 3 weeks. He's traveling too.
The wiring harness. No, this is great.
Now I'm going to tack this. I'll do it for you.
It looks pretty cool, though.
It really looks awesome.
It really looks awesome.
Listen, I think I'm going to finish tacking this. Maybe we'll make a sketch of our tube. Yeah, which will go down on the passenger and driver sides. We can do it. Maybe tomorrow when it's cooler, or sometime soon.
Po pee pee po, po pee hop.
There. We're pretty good now. Is that okay? Okay, at the belt line.
Okay.
Right away, man. Guys, thanks, really? No.
We're definitely in the Mediterranean.
Or what? In a 4x4 in the Rhone.
Day 3. You're so handsome, my love. You're such a beautiful dog, buddy.
Thank you. Honestly, it makes me happy.
You look super sexy.
Day 3, guys.
Day 3. We have a 3-meter tube here.
2,860mm rounds to fit in there.
We have 3-5 combinations.
A part of the roll bar, well, our hoop that we're going to make. It starts from here. It's going to come like this. Run along the top of the door. Bend downwards there. And then the sheet metal supports that we're going to make.
Even if it means making a bend here and making another bend that goes down a bit more over there, yeah?
No, but wait.
He's thinking, no, but go screw yourself. No.
We also can't make bends that close together.
No, you're right.
There's a required minimum space between the rollers in the bending machine.
So?
A minimum space between bends. And already we had trouble with the center hoop there. We had to shift it by 65mm.
Yeah, there and there. It was too close, yeah. In the end, it's good like this, huh?
It's very good like this. The roll bar, since everything will be welded in place. Because actually yesterday, on my story, I posted it and everything. I have a lot of people telling me, yeah, how are you going to do it? Are you going to take it apart, weld it outside, and then put it back in? No, that's not happening. I can't be bothered.
I'd rather go through the trouble of welding. Anyway, we can't do it any other way.
Yeah, we can't really do it. I'd rather weld it in place.
That's what we did in the 206. It's a pain sometimes, but it works.
There's a little more space here than in the 206 everywhere I need to weld. It fits. See, it's not touching the headliner.
No, it's very good. Just like the 206, by the way.
We don't want to burn the headliner much. After that, there's still space. It'll be more annoying later, but we removed the seat, so I'll lie down and stretch out. That's how it is.
I suggest that I stop filming with the microphone now, and it's just going to be cool shots of all of day 3. Let's go.
Yeah. The jig is up. Yeah, I came too far, I ain't giving up. Hey, I had to cut what was weighing me down, and then when you grow, they say that you switching up here to perimeter. Defending the fort, we crushing the visitors. I got it locked, ain't taking a prisoner. Thought it was sweet until they chin hit with a finisher. Heartbreak, Nikki, I'm voiding the slips. I'm raising the stakes, enjoying the risk. Injecting my veins with ice as cold as it gets.
Well, for the sake of ease and simplicity, I'm going to remove the windshield. We're going to,
Eric, it's Maurice, man.
No, it's fine. I'm sorry, Constantine, we are speaking about racism in English with a very strong French accent, okay?
Racism, the favorite French pastime.
I feel like it's way too short.
Yeah, it's looking short now because some jerk wanted me to freaking cut it shorter. No!
That's alright, mate. Actually, that's alright.
Now, you gotta speak with the French accent, and then when we're in Jersey, it's gonna be freaking funny, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, Clayton, hello, guten Tag.
Yes.
Yeah, nice, very nice. Yeah, we got a lot done, huh? We didn't really film for a good 2 days.
Yeah, because 2 days, and it's not written down, that's not it, damn, actually.
I wasn't planning to show you everything.
Because
Race car. It really looks like a race car now.
Still, huh? This is serious now, so what is it?
That we're still missing.
The plan today, we need a bar that will go across the top. Yeah, of the roll cage. So we're going to put 2 small bends at 25 degrees, I think. That way, it offsets our weld. But the bar is still supported at, yes.
Because welding is the real challenge here due to the headliner. We were going to agree anyway.
There's an idiot, huh? There's an idiot. And, we need to do...
the lower bars, with a slight curve going outward on each side, just to spread them out like this so we can fit bucket seats. So, these tubes will be fixed from here to there, and then this is, I think, one of the parts I'm most excited about. The front part, big hole here, with an imaginary hole saw that I don't have. Yeah, plate welded here on the strut tower, tube coming from the roll cage going onto the strut tower. And from that tube, a small bent 33mm tube, which will actually serve as a kind of strut brace. And it will also serve as a support for the small brake reservoirs. It will serve as a support for the windshield mount, etc. So that means with the hood closed, it'll be OEM, but with the hood and door open, it's war. I like the word OEM in there, OEM, and it's war. And honestly, welding the roll cage, doing all the welds, maybe that's something we won't film for you. Maybe Clayton will come over and we'll do that off camera. If everything goes well, today we'll finish the piping part. And honestly, in terms of welding, it's about a morning's work. Well, here we go. Actually, I'm going to film more shots of Clayton cutting and welding. You get the idea. No, but this time it was really 4, 5, 6 days, I don't even remember anymore, of really intense work. But I think now we can say that the 505 really took a beating. So the list I mentioned at the beginning of the video hasn't really changed. The roll bar isn't done yet, but you can see how long each step takes. Big shout out to Clayton. Check him out on Instagram below if you haven't already. Please go subscribe, he's preparing some really great content for you. Whether it's on his new Camaro, on his pickup, on clients' pickups, on clients' cars. In short, yes, he's preparing some awesome stuff for us. So anyway, show him some love, give him some support. What did we do today? Well, I'll show you. I've made good progress on the car's electrical system. Here's my positive terminal strip, which I reorganized to look nicer. It still needs some work. Obviously, there will be some kind of heat shield or heat protector if you prefer, because I don't want to burn up my big positive cable that goes to the alternator, even the alternator harness, since there will definitely be other wires going to the alternator. So that's what I did. And inside the car, you see it's already a bit tidier. The positive terminal goes here. Here we have the little fuse box that I need to connect to the things that are already in the car. And here we have a fuse, a mega fuse, and a MIDI fuse. Here we have the glow plug relay. I tried to do a good job, but honestly, electricity really isn't my thing. And it's really not something I enjoy much. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that electricity is something that really annoys me. And next, the main course. Man, Clayton is really skilled though. I just helped him hold the tube's mark and measure. But you should know that Clayton did the entire roll cage himself. No, it's honestly crazy. So everything is just tack welded and the roll cage still isn't finished. By the way, I think I'm going to move the project forward a bit myself and start working on the front strut towers I already told you about. But just take a look at the quality of this work. The little bends everywhere. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it fully welded and fully painted. Because yes, when the interior is fully painted, clean, with the nice little door panels, the nice little seats, the small fuel tank, the little flat floor in the back, and so on, then it's going to take on a whole new dimension. But right now, the car already has a freaking exoskeleton, guys. It's crazy. Look at this insane setup right there. Ooh, so basically, we're starting with an 8-point roll cage that will later become a 10-point cage. Why? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the cantilever. No, it's just exceptional work. I don't give a damn. Well, it's the next day. It's time. We're going to have to modify this firewall and make our own tubes and plates that will be welded here onto the strut tower, and then the tubes will be welded onto the plate on our roll cage, turning it into an 8-point cage, but for us, it's a 10-point cage. I love saying that, it's so cool. Clayton clearly has a natural talent for this, but before I met him, I would have done it alone, so that's what I'll do. So basically, what I think I need to do is draw a perfectly straight line, maybe with a measuring tape, up to where I want to put my tube on the strut tower. That will give us an axis here, right above our firewall, and then we'll drill our firewall exactly at that spot so the tube can go through. So I bought a hole saw. I'm going to do this with a 48mm tube, and I bought a 74mm hole saw, which gives us a little room for imagination. And by that, I mean for error. So, let's get started. Honestly, I think I'm going to drill with a very small bit at a random height. Then I'll take my string, pass it through that hole and stretch it so it doesn't touch the edges of the hole. So, since I have these two axes, I have it in mind. I can't really explain, but I have it in mind. This drill is so powerful, I've had nightmares and nearly broken my wrist. Milwaukee is great for drilling real holes, but you really have to hold it tight. But your hole is off. Ugh. But no, there you go. We need to make our tube. Yeah, you can clearly see the roll bar tube over there. There's a chance it'll work. There's a chance I won't have to modify the hole too much. And yes, that's done, so I'm really proud of myself. Look at what it looks like. Ooh, not bad. So I did some big welds. You can see that at the top and bottom. I'm not sure if you'll see the bottom, but it's clean. But on the sides, I still don't have control over the flow going down there. Maybe there's too much intensity, I don't know. Maybe it's coming in too hot and that's why it runs. Anyway, it's really perfect. So it's tacked here, tacked there. Well, look, so I'm really happy. Now, the hardest part is going to be finding the motivation to do the other side. So basically what I need to do now is just clap my hands and it should be done. That idiot forgot to clap his hands again in the next shot to give the editor a perfect transition. It's awkward. It's done. So, I'm really happy with the result. Honestly, it's going to be really cool. So yes, the goal after that would be to reinforce it even more, especially by welding a tube with a really aggressive fish mouth onto this tube, which would come back around here. There you go, to triangulate this thing a bit, and then we'd add another reinforcement that would go around the engine, and I think it's going to be super cool and really very rigid. I'm waiting for Clayton's feedback. It'll probably be in the next episode to finish the roll cage, but in the meantime, it already gives the car an exceptional look. Now, I really want to focus on the wiring harness. Yeah, man, you've told me like 45 times in the video, you have to do the wiring harness, you have to do the wiring harness, you have to do the wiring harness. Yeah, except now, there's really not much left to do for the car to start up again. Just put a ground strap back on the gearbox or the engine going to the chassis. So that's pretty quick to do. We don't need the black terminal block yet. Since it's an M8, I should have gotten an M6 terminal block, which is likely more important than an M8 terminal block, especially for all the small grounds coming from my little fuse box. And now what we're going to be missing is connecting all of this, that's done, to the little fuse box. So that's super simple. We're just going to be short on light. But basically, we just have this red wire right here, which is connected to this fuse box, to connect to this fuse box here, which will be the main fuse box of the car. So that's pretty easy to do. A little wire, a little terminal, and then we'll just have a few ground wires to connect and the car will start. I think there's really not much left. That's it. Cool. Honestly, cool. Actually, I realized in this video that I didn't show you much. And then I remembered that it was a heat wave and there were millions of very repetitive things to do, and pulling wires, cutting wires wasn't exactly the most interesting thing. So anyway, I did my best. So what did I do? Basically, now we have something that looks much more like a real car wiring harness. There you go. Now we can start to see some improvements. So here we have a ground wire that's run to the firewall. It's connected to my glow plug control. It's also connected to the engine stop solenoid. And it's also connected here to our fuse box. It's pretty clean. Of course, the wires are still a bit all over the place. I didn't want to start cutting them, connecting them, changing the terminals and so on, as long as I don't have my transmission tunnel, but now it means we're ready to start the car, or almost. To celebrate, I bought a new Norauto 11 battery, my favorite. It powers nearly all my cars since it starts almost anything. Later, off camera, I'll probably make a real battery holder to make sure the battery doesn't come loose. And now, the only thing left to install on the car before we can start it is this. A proper 25 square millimeter ground strap that we'll use to connect the gearbox and the chassis. I tried to check everywhere. What could I do? And I think in the end, we'll just put it right here, on our gearbox here. And probably screw it under our gearbox mount. I think that's where the ground connection will be best, since we'll be screwed directly onto the frame rail. I just hope this braid will be long enough. Anyway, we'll see. You know what? I'll put the car on the lift. At least we'll have a real overview of where we can mount it under the car. Okay, once the car is on the lift, you see the idea would be this, to mount it right here. And you see here, I would screw this in there. And potentially here I would, well, why not? Drill a hole and tap it for an M8 or M10 screw. Bam, 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 boom, click, click. There's no risk of it rubbing on the ground. Honestly, I think that's the best compromise. Bam, 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 boom, click, click, boom, boom, bam, bam. No, I said something stupid. Actually, it's M8 by 1.25, so I would need to tap it 1.25 smaller, but actually I don't have an M8 tap. I broke it, so we'll do it in M10, and that's M10 by 1.50. So the little trick to know what size to drill is you do 10 minus 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 is the pitch between each thread crest. So that's 10 minus 1, 1.5, that should be something like 4. And once that's done, you do the combo screw lock washer plus washer, and then it pretty much can't come loose. That's stylish. It looks clean. I hope it's going to work. Here we go. Now, it's the moment of truth. Is this whole electric contraption going to work? Well, there's not really any reason it shouldn't work since I did exactly what I did before, just a bit better organized with cables that are much more suitable. Because yes, just as a reminder, at first I was using wires that weren't suitable at all. There are glow plugs, a starter, like it was 2mm2 I think, for the fuse box, or 2mm2 for the starter. We're talking about a starter that turns a 3-liter 6-cylinder engine. It's good to think big from time to time. So now, brand new battery, positive terminal here, what a nice setup. Negative terminal that fell into the rear fender. There you go.
Short circuit? Here.
Is it already catching fire? Is it already catching fire? No. Is it catching fire somewhere else? No. It might seem ridiculous, even stupid to you, huh? But for me, this is already a very big step. Now, when I turn the ignition, can you hear the glow plug relay? Yes. Maybe I won't start the engine. Why am I even thinking about starting it? Well, because my fuel hoses are right there. If I run the starter, basically all the fuel left in the pump will drain out. So I need to set up my temporary tank, and yes, that was potentially one of the topics for this video. Clearly no, we're short on time. Let's do a quick checklist. My little checklist is that the full roll cage, I said we wouldn't do it because we wouldn't have time, but in the end, we did it, and we didn't do the rest. I did that. And honestly, that was already a big part that we won't have to come back to much in the future, so basically, very soon we'll do the gauges, the shifter, the floor, and the fuel system. And I think for the next video, that'll be really great. That means we'll have a car that can start and behave like a real car, with information on the dashboard, with fuel coming from a tank that will be, well, obviously, I think right here. So with the trunk closed, you won't see anything. We'll run the hoses either under the car to the engine or inside the cabin like a race car. That's still undecided. Share any ideas or suggestions in the comments. Honestly, I think we're doing well. The driving position still isn't perfect. I need to raise the seat front a bit, but the fit with the roll cage is ideal, like it was made for it. Now preheating works. I I just want to give you a little POV so you can understand what it feels like when you're behind the wheel of this piece of junk. So yeah, it's pretty unsettling, I think. Well, I find having this next to you is a bit weird, but... No, this is paradise. Divine light. Ah. Ah. Honestly, when I'm in this car, I spend my life screaming, but you would do the same. Anyway, next. So, yeah. The next part is very simple, and the next part is so simple that it looks exactly like this. This is the next part. Well, not really. It's not exactly this specifically. Yeah, the next part is more like this. Makes you want it, huh? Yeah, well actually, it's just a matter of angle and perspective. This is the new turbo. If I haven't already lost you during this video, which must be extremely long, yes, this is the new turbo. Obviously, it's still an Autotech turbo, just like this one as well. Here we had an S369 because our goal was to get 700 horsepower. Here we have a GT 3076R. The difference is that it's much smaller. Basically, it's still the same technology. We're still using ceramic bearings with improved spool time compared to an oil bearing and so on. I don't know enough technical jargon to really impress you, but basically that's what I know. But basically the idea is that this one is actually designed for power levels like 600, 700, 800 horsepower or maybe even more. Here we're looking at 400, 500, 550 at most. Anthony, you're useless. Well, yeah, you're allowed to think and say whatever you want. I don't really care because it's my car, it's my money, and it's also my life. Meaning, I don't want it to end. Basically, this is way too big. We all know that very well. Anthony, this is dumb, you won't make 700 horsepower, blah 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 blah. We don't care. For me, behind the wheel, whether it has 500 horsepower or 700 horsepower, I won't see the difference. I'm not Sebastian Loeb, and believe me, this will be more than enough. The big advantage of this turbo compared to that one is that actually the compressor wheel is almost as big here as it is there. There's very little difference, it's almost unnoticeable. However, where the real difference is at the back. There we really have a major difference. Here we have a turbine that's really huge. You see, compared to my hand, it's really gigantic, and here much less so. That means that to deliver the same pressure, this new turbo here could potentially deliver the same pressure as that one, but much faster. This isn't a subject I'm particularly knowledgeable about. I think the turbo experts have noticed it. If you have any details to add below, feel free. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn, we're here to share, and that's it. That's my decision. However, in fact, I can't install this turbo on my current manifold since the two turbos don't have the same manifold system at all. We used a twin scroll turbo with two chambers, each handling 3 cylinders. This setup explains the separation on the manifold. And here, it's much more, well, it's not quite as good. Is it a big deal? No. But it means that this turbo here can't be installed on a manifold like that. So, what we're planning to do is remove this manifold, which we keep as a spare. It's way too big for what I want to do, and we replace it with this manifold. Roughly speaking, it's exactly the same as the one I just showed you. Except that the pipes are going to be slightly smaller, a bit less refined since there was a really big job done on the large manifold over there. This one lets us install a more modest turbo, and a huge thank you to the person I'm swapping manifolds with. You know who you are. One of us wants bigger, the other smaller, so it's a win for both. And yes, you recognized it. This is my favorite place to do outros on the YouTube channel because honestly, it's awesome. So that means it's the end of the video. Anyway, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for following this project. Thank you for helping me bring this project to life. This 505, this completely crazy idea that was born on a couch under the mezzanine. I don't even know if the mezzanine was there yet. Anyway, this crappy idea that's taking up way too much of my time and way too much money. But at the same time, damn, what an awesome idea. It's exceptional. The more time goes by, the more I tell myself, this really is a very good idea. But anyway, as you probably guessed, that's how this 505 video ends in the next episode. Lots of surprises, lots of great success. I hope so, of course, Noel Steelworks, whom we warmly salute. Go follow his damn Instagram, I beg you, this man is so talented. Look at this, he'll be with us. Of course, we're going to make progress on the roll cage, we're going to weld the roll cage, we'll also make progress on, well, the exhaust system. The wastegate, the turbo will be installed, it'll be a real diesel race car. And of course, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to this damn YouTube channel because yes, the 505 or the M606 may have taken 12 years to be built. So, what is it? What the hell is this car, damn it? There are other projects, and yes, that's why it takes so long. And when I say there are other projects, that means right now, in the coming weeks and months, yes, the big replacement for the 505, the new major project for the channel, has arrived. And it's not the Camaro Z28, it's much better, much more different. Anyway, if you like all this, subscribe. I'm begging you because what's coming next is going to be just exceptional. And then, the next video on the YouTube channel is going to be real tuning, German-style Mercedes. It's going to be the Mercedes W124. Big Porsche wheels, body kit, exhaust, coilovers, you get it. You absolutely have to be there in 2 weeks. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. See you.